So, welcome back. Today, I'd like to talk about my experience as a Boy Scout. And as a young person, I was really interested in becoming a really good Boy Scout. I wanted to learn everything about how to build a campfire and how to sharpen a knife and how to go hiking and camping and earn my merit badges and all the rest. But what really intrigued me was the story about what it meant to be a Boy Scout. And that's simply the scout goes out ahead of the pack, out ahead of the community, explores the terrain, and then comes back with a story, with a report on what conditions he found. And that struck me as a really good job description, you might say. Gave me a sense of meaning and purpose. But later on, I began to realize that other people were doing similar work in the world. For example, scientists are working as scouts. They're going out ahead of the tribe and the community, and they're exploring the furthest reaches of human knowledge and human experience. And they're reporting back in the form of journal articles and lectures. They're nothing but scouts, right? And so too for journalists and artists and other seekers who are exploring and reporting back to us. Later on, I read about Joseph Campbell and his work as a student of mythology. And he reported a similar thing. He said in cultures around the world, we have a hero's journey. And the hero does the same thing. The hero goes out and has a grand adventure, learns about the world, and comes back and reports to the tribe and the community. This is an essential service. So I want to give you a list of people who are working or have recently worked as scouts for us. Rachel Carson was a scout. She wrote a book called Silent Spring, telling us about our ecological conditions. Carl Sagan was a scout, reporting to Congress in 1985 about climate change. So too, James Hansen, Bill McKibben, E.O. Wilson, writing about biodiversity and our extinction crisis. Al Gore and The Inconvenient Truth. James Cameron and his movies Avatar and Terminator, telling us about our encounter with modern technology. William Catton and his book Overshoot. Elizabeth Colbert writing about the sixth mass extinction. David Wallace Wells writing a book called The Uninhabitable Earth. And Kim Stanley Robinson, the science fiction writer who wrote a book called Ministry for the Future. All of these people acting as scouts for us, bringing us back information and insights about what's to come in our near-term future. But are we listening? Are we listening to the scouts? And my fear is that we're not. We're not listening to the scouts. And that's a very dangerous thing. It also begs the question, why? Why aren't we listening to these people? Why aren't we listening to people who are warning us about the conditions up ahead? And I see three explanations here. The first explanation, we aren't listening because our media environment now is so noisy and we're so distracted. Our attention is so fragmented that we're finding it hard to pick out the signal from the noise. When you live in a highly distracting media environment, it's hard to focus. And that's what we're experiencing now. We're also finding it hard to listen because of the big media megaphone that's out there. Corporate interests, big media interests, are not particularly interested in giving a platform to our scouts. And there's a lot of reasons for this, but our scouts are disruptors. Our scouts are telling us some inconvenient truths, and that doesn't play well in modern media. Modern media is primarily interested in maintaining the for-profit status quo. And there's not much room for scouting voices in that world. But finally, and I think most fundamentally, we don't listen to the scouts because what they're telling us is challenging, it's inconvenient, it's distressing, it's disturbing, and it asks us to live in some new way. And of course, we dig in our heels, we'd rather not listen. It's so much easier simply to close down our awareness than it is to entertain the possibilities that the scouts are telling us about. So this is the dilemma of our time. Our scouts are coming back into camp, telling us about the world, and we're failing to listen. This is an intelligence test, and we're failing that intelligence test. A society, a culture, a people that fails to listen to the scouts is in great peril. And that's what troubles me. So that's the life lesson here now. Listen to the scouts. Seek out the scouts. Listen to what they have to say and take it seriously. To put it simply, the time is come to listen as if your life depends on it. Because it really does. See you next time.